So here today we have Jared White with IMG Academy. You may recognize him from some of our videos if you got to check any of them out on our content pods or at the back table. If you haven't, please go check it out. You can see the full IMG facility, including our GSSI lab there. So a lot of the video content has Jared. And we're so lucky to have him here in person to discuss customized plans to help athletes stay in the game and recover from injury faster, utilizing an integrated team approach. Jared is the head athletic trainer at IMG Academy, where he oversees all areas of staff management and daily operations for the athletic training services across campus, which is huge. If you haven't been there, check it out. Jared brings more than a decade of experience at the collegiate and professional ranks. Prior to joining IMG, Jared worked with the NFL's Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans, in addition to Vanderbilt and Auburn. In addition to his athletic training experience, Jared has multiple athletic training certifications across several sports. He's accredited by the likes of FEMA.
That's an interesting one. So that's an interesting one, but yeah.
It's a great one. And he's a Titleist Performance Institute and National Academy of Sports Medicine certificate holder as well. Yeah. Okay, please welcome Jared, guys.
All right. Thank you. All right, so today really what I'm going to do is just showcase IMG Academy. I don't know how familiar, some of you are very familiar with IMG Academy, some not so much. All I'm going to do is showcase what we do and kind of how we do it, and talk about an interdisciplinary approach to driving performance and decreasing injury. So, well, starting out, so this is our new Performance and Sports Science Center. So our headquarters is basically out of this building. As you can see here, basically a third of our building is Gatorade Sports Science Institute. And they'll speak, you can see on these touchscreen monitors here, you can see some of the immaculate facilities they have. They can do resting metabolic rate, isokinetic testing, and so sweat testing, obviously, and hydration testing. So they really supplement what we do really incredibly at IMG. So real quickly, I want to talk about the scale of what we do, the scope of what we do, and then kind of the system that we use at IMG Academy. First off, the scale. So we have 15 certified athletic trainers during the academy year. 3 of those are one-year staff members, and we have 5 additional summer staff. So right now, we're full staffed at 20 certified athletic trainers for our camp season, which I'll speak about in just a second. We have 4 athletic training facilities. 2 are our primary athletic training facilities. 2 are kind of supplemental athletic training rooms that we use. We do have an on-campus physical therapy clinic run by Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. So we have 2 full-time PTs and 2 part-time PTs that come in there. And they really literally work beside us every day in what we do, and make what we do obviously a little more tangible. We also have, which is very unique for the academy, we have an on-site 24/7, 365 health clinic, which is very unique. Most high schools have a walk-in, nurse's office or something that's open during the school day. We have nurses that are there 24/7, 365 because we are a boarding school. We have 8 sports, so tennis, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, golf, football, soccer, and track and field. And most sports will carry 2 athletic trainers for most sports. So as you look at this diagram on the right-hand side, this is the scale of what we do. So IMG Academy is known primarily for our academy business. So most of our business, what we do, about 75% of our business is a boarding school. So we have 1,100 student athletes. 700 of those are actually boarding on-campus student athletes. Those athletes are on campus basically 9 months out of 12 throughout the year, and basically train every day in their selected sport. Our camp business is another big part of what we do. This business actually goes all year round. So we offer camps all throughout the year. So our summer is our peak camp season. So right now we're at full capacity with camps here within the next 3 weeks. But our camp business, I mean, we have college camps, pro camps, adult camps, and then obviously our youth and adolescent camps as well. Camp coverage, so our staff rotates through and covers those camps after the academy season is over. We also have an events business. So events is getting bigger and bigger at IMG just based on our facilities that we have available. Teams, third parties will come in and use our facilities to host events, and our staff will also cover those events as well. We also outsource some athletic trainers as well to cover events that get a little too large for what we can handle. And then the fourth part of our business, our pro and team training business. This is another part of our business that runs year-round. But what that is we have professional athletes that will train year-round. We have teams that will train year-round. They'll come in, 1 week at a time, months at a time. So we've had NFL teams that have come in for a week. We've had Olympic teams that came in before Rio that trained at our facilities for a month to 2 months. So that is definitely a growing part of our business and a very unique part of the business as well. Moving on, so building off the scale of what we do is really the scope of the athletes that we work with, as kind of already referenced. One of the most unique things about IMG is the fact that our staff can work with, we can work with an 8-year-old golfer who's there for an academy year. We can turn around and work with somebody who's training for the Olympics and going to Rio. We work with some of the top level talent, high school talent in the country. So some of our basketball program is definitely working its way up for national notoriety as far as some of the players that we have going to top level Division I schools. Our lacrosse program is definitely excelled. But then we also have part of our pro and team training business is athletes will come. We have an NFL combine training program. We have an NBA and an MLB offseason program as well. So there'll be athletes coming from college making the transition into the professional ranks that will come and train in one of our programs there. Very unique that our academy year, so some of our academy kids, so you can use these baseball players as an example. You could have some 13, 14, 15-year-old baseball players that are training right next to Russell Wilson or getting treatment in the training room right next to these guys as well. So it's a pretty unique scope. And then we have obviously some of the best pro athletes. Some train at IMG and use IMG as kind of their home base for training. And then some athletes just come in, use the facilities, use some of the coaching. So it really is kind of a flux program based on what they want to do. So getting into more, hopefully, some stuff that that can apply to what we all do. This is our system. So we talked about the scale, the scope, and now the system. Our system, so basically how our department's laid out in between academics and athletics is our athletic and personal development department. So what that is, as you can see, it's a multidisciplinary department. We have nutritionists, leadership coaches, mental coaches, athletic trainers, and physical strength coaches as well. So basically all of these outcomes are laid out in a systematic fashion in different disciplines. But the unique thing that IMG tries to do, and this is kind of the point I want to make, is not just using multiple disciplines, but really looking interdisciplinary. So the athletic trainers, we really try to take charge of some of this programming and set forth how do we best work and collaborate with the other disciplines to, again, drive high performance and decrease injury as well. So some of that intentional integration, what our department allows us to do is intentionally integrate some of the things that we're doing with our athletes. So we have a school training balance, which every high school athlete has some sort of school training balance. What's unique about what we do at IMG is we strategically set their schedules out so that they're getting recovery, they're getting rest, they're getting nutrition. And so that's actually built into their scheduling, which is extremely unique. We have weekly APD sessions. So APD is our athletic and personal development department again. So each week, a baseball player could go to a nutrition session. He'll have a one-on-one session or a group session with a sports psychologist. He can have, individualized strength training. So these schedules are very intentional and laid out in a systematic manner. They also have athletic training and physical therapy built into their schedules. So I'll talk about in just a second some of the unique ways that we build programs around some of our injured athletes. And then allotted rest and recovery time. So one of the things that we're really trying to do a better job of at IMG Academy is being very intentional about rest and recovery. So we talk a lot about it. We have normal tech boots, and we have the anti-gravity treadmill. We have the hyperbaric chambers. But it's really educating the athletes on how they can best take care of themselves so that when they are to leave IMG, they know how to best rest and recover. So we do a lot those times, especially, campers have that built into their schedule as well. So we'll have a summer camper come in, and we actually build in a time in their schedule where it's a rest time, and we'll give them specific things to do during that time. And then we also really focus on education on the importance of hydration, nutrition, sleep, and recovery. Those are done in those APD sessions. But what's interesting about that, again, is that integration of the same message. So we want the kids to be getting the same message from the athletic trainers as they're getting from the nutritionists, as they're getting from the strength coaches, and so on and so forth. And then the other really unique part about IMG, referencing that first slide, is we do have a Gatorade Sports Science Institute on campus. And what that allows us to do is collaborate with other stakeholders and get things for these athletes that really drive performance and help us decrease injury using best practices and evidence-based research as well. And then workload management. So something we're working towards right now is a load monitoring program. And so our athletic training staff has done a great job of figuring out how to get some subjective and some objective measures on how can we best plan these schedules. So if we're plotting a course for rest and recovery and training and nutrition for these athletes, how can we best monitor their load and get them to be successful? The only way we can do that is if we know how much they're training, where they're getting their training from, and how that training is affecting their bodies. Does anybody here involved in any sort of load monitoring at your institution or anything like that? No? So that's one thing that's kind of cutting edge for us is we're looking at it's best practice to figure out the load that's being placed on the athletes. How do we track that? And then how can we implement policies and procedures to put in place to best transform those athletes to high performers? Well, let me go back here real quick. So some of our equipment here, we have a great relationship with Normatec. So our student athletes use the recovery boots quite a bit. We have a HydroWorks treadmill underwater. We do a lot of regeneration or regen sessions. So that's stretching, myofascial release, that sort of stuff. That's what we're really wanting to teach the students to be able to do on their own so that they can be most successful. And then we also have Trigger Point as one of our corporate sponsors on campus as well. So really, again, just teaching the athletes how they can best implement some of these strategies on their own. So our injured athlete program is another unique thing that we do, and this is really something that I think could be implemented at most institutions. So any athlete that's out 30 days or more out of competition, we're going to enter them into the injured athlete program. Basically what this is a specific individualized schedule. So we're looking at, again, nutrition, mental, leadership. We're trying to use those things to the best of our ability to get these injured athletes not just back from return to play physically, but mentally, emotionally, psychologically as well. So this is driven by the athletic trainer. So the athletic trainer is at the heart of the injured athlete program, and we're communicating with all the other departments. And based on that, it's centered around the needs of the athlete. So every athlete's different. Every athlete responds differently to injury and to recovery and rehabilitation. And so that's the key here is it's centered around its specific individualized programming. Case study for a 17-year-old athlete with an ACL reconstruction. And essentially, the rehabilitation was pretty straightforward, but the kid had some needs that the athletic trainer saw. Basically, he came back from his injury, got MVP of his team, and was the Defensive Player of the Year at IMG Academy. So some of that one-on-one leadership and mental conditioning really helped propel him to be successful. And then finally, basically, dividing the tasks really helps us multiply the success of the programming. So as we work together and work with the multiple disciplines, the athletic trainers taking control of that communication, that really helps us multiply the success. And so it doesn't really matter, what facilities we have and all that if we don't have systems and people in place that can utilize that effectively. And so I wanted to end with leading from the middle. So there's a lot of leadership strategies that talk about leading from the front or leading from the back. I really think as athletic trainers, we're positioned in the middle between the coach and the student athlete. We're positioned between the athletic director and the coach. And so that's really a place where we can lead effectively and challenge some of these systems and load monitoring and those sort of things to put into place strategies that will, again, increase performance and decrease injury. So that's basically kind of our showcase of what we do at IMG. Any questions from anybody on anything that we covered or anything that we do? We're the female athletes. So we have, well, we can go back. So, well, there's one of our female athletes there. No, it's boys and girls. Yeah, it's boys and girls. Yeah, it's males and females. Yeah. So obviously a few less females, but we do have a higher male population. Yeah. Any other questions? Thoughts? All right. Well, thank you. And definitely check out the tables here, the touchscreen monitors. You can go a lot more in depth to our facilities and that sort of thing. So, all right. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for your attention. Yeah.